this video, I'm going to tell you how I went from Silver 1 to Diamond 1 in less than a month. So in my last video, I spoke about how you don't need to pay so much money, sort of hundreds of dollars for coach grifters on YouTube to teach you the basics of climbing. Like I said, from Silver 1 to Diamond 1, I did it in less than a month, and I'm not even that special. And the best thing about it is, if I can do it, you can do it too. Unlike the other videos that you see on YouTube that tell you what the biggest tip you can get to climb is, I'm going to give you it now. Oh my god, I just realized what I said. I'm gonna give you the big tip now. Anyway, sorry, back to the video. It helps you more with this tip to climb than any other tip I can give you. And that is to take the advice that suits you as a player. What do I mean by this? Well, when I was silver, I wasn't silver because my aim was bad. Before I played Valorant, I was actually, I played Overwatch, and I was a Diamond Widowmaker. And if you played Widowmaker, she's basically the sniper in Overwatch. It's a Twitch sort of shooter, and it takes a lot of it takes a lot of aim to get to Diamond with Widowmaker. It takes a lot of aim to play Widowmaker at a competent level. So my aim wasn't bad. I was able to hit headshots in silver, but the problem is that my movement was hilariously bad. I was so used to the movement from Overwatch that I was just moving all around the place, and that was making me miss shots due to movement inaccuracy. So the thing that I needed to work on was not my aim, it was my movement. I needed to work on my movement with my aim to make sure that I could, climb out. And once I got that, climbing out of silver and into high gold, that was a breeze. Take the advice that helps you as a player. What I would recommend you do is you watch a VOD of yourself playing. You need to identify what your weakness is and then take the advice that fixes that weakness. And to do that, you need to VOD review. And I'll do a video on how to VOD review later. Hopefully it won't be sort of one where I review a whole video, but I'll show you the steps that I take to review my own VODs and to see how I could have played or what I can do to improve or what practice drills I need. That's the first tip I can give you, and that's the most important one. And that's what you need to take from here on. The second one, and this contradicts a lot of other videos to talk about, but this one I actually think is a good way to climb. And it actually helps in a lot of other games as well. And that is to pick a role and stick with that role. And the main thing is also as well, pick an agent and stick with that agent. Don't overfill. The problem is when you're trying to learn the basic mechanics of the game, such as movement, aim, peaking mechanics, where off angles and on angles are, and sort of how you should play off angles and on angles. It's so much harder to do that when you're also trying to adapt to the agent that you're playing that is different for the fifth game. Overfilling is in my opinion, unless you're in a high enough elo where you already know the basics of the game, where peaking and aiming and moving and all of those basics, they come second nature to you, where switching to another agent, you are now, instead of just focusing on those basics, you just need to focus on how to play the agent. Okay, so my advice to you, and I know this is a bit controversial, but pick a role, an agent, and stick to it. I'm not telling you to insta-lock every game. What I am telling you to do is identify what kind of player you are, what kind of role best suits you, learn that role, and stick to that role while you're learning the basics up until you climb. And trust me, you will climb. I'm not telling you to be a toxic insta-locker. Don't insta-lock Reyna and just bait your team the entire game. That's not what I'm telling you to do. That's horrible. Don't do that. But understand what your role is as a duelist, as an entry fragger, or understand what your role is as a sentinel, or understand what your role is as a initiator, whatever you choose to play, and stick to that role while you learn the basics and fundamentals of the game. The third advice is, and I know you've probably heard this a lot, is mental. I spoke in my previous video about the prevalence of Smurfs in games. What you don't know is that, yes, while there is a lot of Smurfs in games, they are not the reason you're being held down. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, absolutely, it's demoralizing when you're playing against a Smurf. There is nothing more I want to do once I finish the game against an obvious Smurf, where I just want to close the game. Once you've had a game where you've been demolished, and that will happen, you'll have games where you've been demolished. It won't be just by Smurfs. Maybe the other team's just playing a lot better that game. And maybe you're not just playing as well as you should be. Those games will happen. Take a break, go walk about, watch a YouTube video about something, reset that mental. There's nothing worse than queuing up again straight after losing badly and you being in a bad mental, because your actions and your decisions that you take while you are upset, they are worse decisions than you would normally take, and therefore you'll start to play worse, and then you'll start thinking everyone is smurfing, and but it's actually just you playing a lot worse than you normally play. So don't rage queue. It's bad to rage queue. Don't do that. Reset your mental. The way that I like to do this, and that keeps my aim up, is I just like to jump into a deathmatch after a game. The next point is communication. The reason why you have a mic in this game and you don't in League of Legends is very simple. You need pings are not enough. Text messages are not enough. If you can't talk in your mic because your parents are asleep in the next door, and if you say anything, they'll wake up and they'll whoop your ass for playing at 2 a.m. on a school night, then maybe it's a good idea not to queue up for ranked. The reason why I'm saying communication is important is not only just to communicate the whereabouts of enemy players. It doesn't even have to be a great strategy, but if you establish some form of strategy in the pre-round, and so for example, I play Jet. If I'm telling as an entry, I don't bait my team, I do entry with Jet. But if I'm playing Jet and I need my team to do something, I need them to play as a team cohesively. Yes, I'm not the in-game lead, but if I say, okay, let's say we're in ascent on B and I want to dash onto boathouse to close on the switch to close the door, and then sort of gain some space for my team. I don't want to do that solo. I want to be able to do that with my team with me. And a lot of people will complain. They'll say my duelist either does an entry or I entry as a duelist, but my team don't follow up. Biggest thing 9 times out of 10 that you can fix with that is by communicating what you want to do. I've got a dash on. I can dash on A with a flash.
I can flash in on side.
Can you smoke heaven and tree?
Yes.
There.
Well, I don't have blind.
That's fine. We've got a flash.
Yeah. For you,
I'm flashing in on side.
When we get to main entrance, just follow my wall.
Cover going out.
One down.
go in flash. Now.
Nice.
Push short wall.
Oh, okay.
Again.
Nice.
Hold door.
Open door.
Safety on.
And I get all of that happen for me, and I get my team to follow up. They actually enter site because they see someone is doing that. Now, you don't have to be the duelist to say this. You could be the initiator. You could be the KO in this instance and say, Jet, hey, I'm going to flash for you. Can you dash onto the switch, close the door with your smoke? I'll follow you up. Omen, can you smoke CT site? Again, you as the Omen can say this. Hey, I'm the Omen. I can smoke CT and market. I don't know why I'm bouncing around, but that gets the point across. Communication is key, and you will rank up significantly from communication. And by you also trying to keep the team's mental up and hyping up your team, even if they do the dumbest things. Sometimes I'll be in a game, I'll be like, this Omen is dumb as shit. And he'll make a play that is astronomically stupid. It will work. I will hype up and I'll say, nice play, nice, in mic. And as soon as I lift my finger off the V button, I'll say,
what a flipping idiot.
It happens, right? But the important thing is to remember, we're all idiots. We all make mistakes, right? The best thing to do is hype up your teammates and they will play better. And the last thing that I would recommend you do is have an aim routine and a movement routine that you practice in. You go in the practice range. And those are easy to find. You can have one that's made tailored for yourself, so you can test some things out, or you could steal someone else's. I can make another video if you'd like to show what my aim routine is and what my movement routine is, and have that before you start a session. 15 minutes is more than enough to do it, but if it's consistent, it builds that muscle memory, and it also engages your brain to say this session is going to be a focus session. It's like tricking your brain to say, after every movement routine or after every aim routine, I am now focused for competitive. I am now in my peak performance mode. I am entering the state of flow. And after it won't work after the first few times, but if you keep doing it consistently, it will, you will start to notice that it does build that. And those were my tips on how I went from silver 1 to diamond 1. I am currently still climbing, so I did hit diamond 3, but then I went in on one of the worst losing streaks possible because I suck. And it's fine. We're learning from it. I am streaming my climb. I'm starting to stream again. As you can see, the landscape has changed. I've moved to a new place. I'm still kind of in the middle of a move, and I'm kind of dapper today as well. I did go to a wedding. Okay, so I am dressed a bit. This is my post-wedding look. So I am streaming my climb from diamond to immortal. Hopefully I'm trying to straight reach immortal, and I will be doing some VOD reviews of my own VODs. I don't think I'm anywhere near good enough to do VOD reviews of other people yet, but I am doing VOD reviews of my own VODs, so you can come and take a look and see how I'm doing those VODs. I will upload a video to show you how I do these VOD reviews, but my streams are Tuesdays and Thursdays at the moment, from 7:30 onwards PM UK time. I think that's GMT +1 at the moment, or 6:30 GMT. But that is the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and maybe comment some feedback on what you'd like to see next or what you'd like to be improved. Dislike it if you dislike it. Subscribe if you liked the video and you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one.